Last night, I tried to bleach my hair so that I could dye it blue, so that like the blue would actually show out, and it didn't really work. Like my hair is still red. And that's kind of fun, and I'm happy that my hair stayed straight. Like it's been a week now, and I've even gone swimming in it with like chlorinated water, and my hair stayed straight. And I even went to the beach, which is the time that my hair curls because it's so humid, and it stayed straight, so I'm really happy. I'm hoping it lasts for a little longer than a week, but still, it looks cool. Okay, so I thought I would do the series called Cancer Talks, where I just talk about cancer, and I have a couple topics already. So if you guys have questions or want to know anything about cancer, just leave them in the comments below, or just ask me the questions, and I will talk about them or answer them in my videos to come, but they'll be every other week. And this video, I wanted to talk about life before and after cancer. So what my life was like before I had cancer. I was living in California, and I was an actress. When I was in like 6th grade, middle school had this play called Honk Jr. I ended up being a little froglet in it, which is just like a baby frog. And that was the point that I kind of fell in love with acting. So ever since like 6th grade, I was in any show I could get my hands on. I did like school theater, I did community theater, I did children's theater sometimes. I was in like 2 different shows at once, which was totally awesome. I just loved it. So then when I graduated high school, I was like, well, I really want to pursue acting. So should I go to New York and do theater, or should I go to LA and do film? Since I had just done 6 years of theater, I was like, let's go to LA and try film. So I moved to LA without knowing anyone. I lived out there for 2 years. I ended up getting in some commercials, some TV shows, a couple short films, probably nothing that you've ever seen, except this one commercial I was in with Victoria Justice, which I can link down below. But that was basically it. My goal was to be an actress and not have a side job, so just be like a full-time actress, and that's like all I wanted, was just to act. In January last year, I worked at a restaurant, and I would serve drinks to people, and I had cashiers. It was a lot of fun, but then I realized that I wasn't acting, and all my time was being wasted in this job, and it wasn't what I came to LA for, so I just got up and I quit. Like January on to May, like May, June, I was just a full-time actress, which was awesome, and that's exactly what I came there to do. And I'd be on set all day, and it would be like different shows every day, or I could book the same show every week. Like I worked on The X's a lot, and that was like, I think it was every Thursday. I'd book that, and I would just go there every week, and I worked on like several shows of The X's for like their season 3. I found out in the end of May that I had cancer. So I had to go back to Wisconsin. When I found out I had cancer, they were like, oh yeah, you have stage 2 colon cancer. You just have to have surgery, and then you'll be out of the woods and it'll be fine. Well, at the time, I was in a theater show, and we were going to open in like 2 weeks, which I was really excited for because I got to play like a vampire. So like the only people who I told was like my best friend, and she knew. I had to tell the director of this show, and he's like, I've had colon cancer too. He's like, I didn't tell anyone though. And he was telling me that he did chemo with the guy who plays Dexter because he has cancer too. And he's like, oh yeah, I used to do chemo with Dexter all the time. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, I just have stage 2 cancer, and I'm gonna have to go get the tumor in my colon taken out, and then I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back before you guys close, and I can hop back in the show. It didn't really turn out that way. That's what I was doing, and so I had to tell him that I had cancer, and so like only very few people knew. I didn't even tell like my roommate. I was just like, I left. I'm like, I didn't even tell him where I was going. I was just like, I'm gonna leave. And then he didn't believe me, which was hilarious. The other thing I was doing was I was working on an EP at the time. I was like singing and writing my own songs for an EP. It was going to be called Love Lies with Revenge. So I was working on that for a while, and I was getting all the songs together to record them, and obviously that had to stop. I was doing like filming, I was auditioning, and I was working on theater, and I was also working on a CD all when I found out I had cancer. And then like the week I had to leave, I got a call for a music video. I also got a call for like a Boost commercial that I auditioned for, and they wanted me to be in the commercial, and I was like, no, I have to turn these 2 down because I can't I was leaving and I'm like, I'm not gonna be in California anymore. And since I've been in Wisconsin, I've had like 3 other calls for auditions. They're like, hey, we're looking for someone. And I'm like, had to sit there and explain to them, like, I'm not in California anymore. I have cancer. And then like a couple of them found out I had cancer. And they're like, oh, we have this project and we need cancer patients. I was like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not in LA. Sad. So I've had to turn down like a lot of stuff because of my cancer, which is kind of depressing because I was just kind of like getting stuff started when I left, because I only had been working on it for like 6 months, and I was just getting like my foot in the door enough to actually start making something for myself, where I wasn't just doing background and extra work. I was actually getting some bigger roles, and then I had to leave and stop and just put everything on hold. And one thing that helped me going through my whole cancer experience was the fact that I can always go back there, and that the awesome part was that I already got to live my dream for 6 months. Yeah, I want to do it more, but that 6 months was really, really great, and I would love to do that again. It's been like a year since I was diagnosed and I came back home. Now I've been declared in remission. So now that like I've stopped, it's going to be harder for me to pick back up where I started, because, you know, like all those positions and interviews that I had, like when I left, I had those jobs lined up and people kind of knew who I was and where I was at. Like, people were remembering me. I worked on this show, like I totally forgot about it, that I was on it. Then like a month or 2 later, this guy calls me up and he's like, hey, I'm the AD, assistant director of this show on MTV. I remembered you from this show we did like 2 months ago. I want to call you in. If you're free tonight, would you come work on the show with me? And I was like, score. I didn't even have to audition. They just called me up and they're like, hey, come work on this show. And since I was free, I was like, why not? So like people were remembering me and several auditions. So like I was getting work, and then I just had to stop. So when I found the organization 3 Little Birds for Life, they are a wish organization for young adults who have cancer, and they are the only wish organization for young adults. There's a whole bunch of organizations for kids, but you have to be like 18 and under. So like I didn't qualify for any of them. And so I found 3 Little Birds for Life, and they've been working with me on getting a wish. And so I've been working with them the past like month on organizing a wish and what I would want to wish for. And so part of my wish was to help get back into the industry, either like work on a show or work with a singer or something, just to get my foot back in the door like I was when I left. The possibilities that I gave them was like, I gave them a list of my favorite shows, which were basically like ABC Family shows, because I'm slightly addicted to those. But like I love The Fosters and Switched at Birth. And then there's this new show coming out called Chasing Life. It is about this 24-year-old named April, and she is pursuing her life in journalism, and she's like working her way up the ladder, and then she finds out she has cancer. So then she has to balance her career and her life and her dreams and everything with cancer. So I am really excited to see the show. The other part that I was thinking was like to work with some singer. My top 3 artists right now are Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, and Demi Lovato. So I put that in the ring too, and they've been so awesome and working with me and trying to get back into the industry where I was before I got cancer. Yeah, that's a little bit about about my life before and after cancer. Anyways, I thought I'd show you. This is one of my cancer shirts. It's a pink ribbon for breast cancer. If you want to see, this is my port. It's right there. Since I'm actually wearing a shirt, you can see it. It's right there, and then it feeds up into my neck, if you're wondering what that is. And then on the back of my shirt, Warrior, with little wings. So I will post another cancer talk video in 2 weeks. I post new videos every Thursday. Like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube page. Leave your questions, remarks, and cancer stuff below, or you can tweet them to me or Instagram or something. I'll leave all of that below. Oh wait, check out my nails. They're green, blue, and pink, and they're like zippery type things of black and white. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.